tell y'all? You tuning into the best morning show on the globe. It's Bradham and Emery in the morning, y'all. LeBron or Jordan, either one when I'm performing. Crossover, buzzer beater and I'm scoring. Bradham and Emery in the morning. Every play they on it. Every day I'm balling. Who's the coach? Who's the GOAT? Like Brady and Belichick, best show on the globe. And they embellish it. Y'all paying Zippy. I'm Ken Griffey or maybe Mahomes. I stay in the zone, whether man to man or play in the zone. They can't stop me. Mayweather boxing. Curry with the shot, man. We just the best to be. Can we have our SB, please? This was meant to be. Every morning with Bradham and Emery.
Yes, sir. You know the vibes. Brad in the morning. Marcus Brown, just Emery.
Yo, during that intro, I made my mad dash to get the bottle of water.
Nice.
Had to happen.
We went into overtime on Friday.
Oh, and I believe me, people noticed. People noticed.
By a minute or two, just missed a major story.
Yeah.
Literally at probably 10:03 a.m. When we're going off the air, after we're off the air, 10:03 a.m., it breaks that Joe Girardi fired, relieved from his duties as manager of the Philadelphia Phillies.
Mm-hmm.
Something I think that we all saw coming. It hasn't been good here, and somebody's got to die.
Yeah, I'm usually pretty excited when I see your name pop up on my phone. It's usually got something pretty good to say. None better news than what you delivered the other day.
Yes. Yeah. So, listen, baseball is very different than all the other sports when it comes to the manager-coach relationship with players, where I think less than any other sport, it's about X's and O's, and baseball is about personalities. And, I don't know. Listen, I'm not going to sit here and I don't know jack about Rob Thomas. I don't know anything about him.
He's a baseball lifer, I can tell you that. He's managed at like every single level of baseball besides the professional ranks.
And I can't tell you much about what he's going to do, but I do know this about baseball. There's sometimes personalities mesh with guys, and sometimes they don't. If they don't, it can lead to bad play. Obviously, it was a great weekend. They've won 4 in a row. The Angels, you have to say the Angels are slumping big time.
11 losses straight.
Yeah, Mike Trout is in a huge slump right now.
It's his career worst, they said.
Yeah. So like, you caught a team at a good time, which is nothing wrong with that. Had to come back to win yesterday. Big time hits. Harper hits the grand slam in the 8th, and then Stott gets a 3-run homer in the 9th to win the game. Listen, hopefully you keep the momentum going. Like I said, like personalities is a big thing. I don't know why that is in baseball, where if you don't like, and it's not like that. Like basketball's been plenty of coach players that hate each other and still were able to win. Baseball,
part of it is that it's such a long season.
Yeah.
But baseball players are different cats, man.
Yeah, and sometimes when the Phillies the last couple of years, they've been so close to making the playoffs. They've been on the inside track like 2 of the last 3 years, both with Girardi. And sometimes that stuff can bring you together and can bond you. And sometimes it can go the other way where you lose faith in the guy. And one thing, listen, again, Rob Thomas, I don't know, maybe he's a more fiery guy and they need that, because Joe Girardi is not that. Joe Girardi is extremely robotic. He's not a guy. He's not a rah-rah guy, which, can be overblown sometimes if you know how to do it. Like, I guess Charlie Manuel was never a rah-rah guy, but Charlie Manuel was really good at instilling confidence in that team. Like, he understood, and he would get on them at times, but he understood how to get them fired up, how to get them going.
Now, Charlie was a rah-rah guy if it came to fighting Howard Eskin in his office, though.
Yeah. He not really like Charlie was really good at getting those guys fired up in a different way. It wasn't like, come on, let's go. He wasn't one of those guys, but like he understood how to get the guys going and get them excited about playing baseball. Where
right buttons to push,
right? Girardi, and the thing about Girardi, like, again, it's because like you said, so many games, and You're sitting there, you watch these guys. Girardi never looked like he wanted to be there. Like he kind of had to look like he wanted to be anywhere else, but in being a manager of the Philadelphia Phillies.
Well, he definitely lost some kind of fire or some kind of edge or something between his New York days and when he came here. Like while he was an analyst, he definitely lost something, some kind of edge or some fire or whatever it is, because he looks like a guy who's just beaten down and just doesn't want to manage anymore. I'm sure he was paid handsomely by the Phillies. I don't know what his deal was, but I'm sure he made 7 figures a year. I wouldn't turn that down either. But all he did was sit in the dugout with that binder.
Mm-hmm.
Yankees fans even try to tell Phillies fans, listen, you're not getting what you think you are.
Yeah.
We should have listened.
Yeah, I mean,
like,
the
evil
Gabe
empire
experience here was
that,
so
but
the Gabe Kapler experience here was so bad that it was one of those things where it's like, dude, we'll take anything. And Girardi was a name.
He was anything.
He had won before. Actually, ironically, against the Phillies, he won. But you see, he's won before. So you were like, okay, this is something to be excited about, and it just didn't work out. I applaud them for doing something. I feel like you had to do. You couldn't let this go much longer. Like the Phillies, they were floundering. They're now four games under, I believe.
Yep.
So
4.5.
now what you need is you just need what I talked about on Friday. Let's get a good 3 weeks in where you play consistently good baseball for 3 weeks.
We need them to go. I think the numbers were, if they can go 13-9 the rest of June, they will go into July 1st at 500.
Yeah, and now you got a shot. And 13-9, that's pedestrian. That's nothing crazy. And listen, we talked about it before. It has to be said, the Phillies had a really tough schedule the first couple months of the season. It's opening up a little bit. So hopefully that'll get your steam rolling. Guys listen, Kyle Schwarber went from 160 to like 205.
Yeah.
So, well, I'll take that. He started to hit. It's important. Castellanos, not so much still. Harper's harpering. I mean, he's trying his best.
He's so I gotta tell you a story about that grand slam yesterday.
Okay. And Real Muto's hitting a little bit.
Yeah, what do you have? He had like 3 doubles the other night or something.
Yeah.
4 doubles, something like that.
Yep.
I'm still worried about him though.
Understandable.
His recent trend of good play has not alleviated my concerns about him though. He's still a 32-year-old catcher with 3 years left on his deal. That still doesn't change.
Understandable.
So I'm in the car yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
Forget where I was coming home from. I think I may have been coming home from a dash, to be honest with you. But anyway, so driving home, I hear Fransky and LA. They're on the call.
Yeah.
Rhys Hoskins gets he strikes out.
Mm-hmm. Now
there's 2 outs. Okay. Bryce Harper comes up, bases loaded. I think it's the 8th inning.
8th inning.
Mm-hmm. So it happens. Strike 1. Okay. As strike 1 happens, I pull in the driveway. Strike 2, foul. LA goes, I don't know why Bryce is chasing these pitches out of the zone. Well, I'm like, all right, 2 strikes, 2 outs. I'm out. Turn the car off.
Oh, no.
Get out of the car. Oblivious to what's occurring. About an hour later, I'm like, let's see if I can get it. The promos pop up. Let me see if I can get a quick couple dollars during the promos of Dash. I get in the car. I figured somebody's got to be on WIP by this point in time. The game's got to be over. I turn it on. I hear Murph on the post-game show talking about how the Angels got swept by the Phillies off the back of Bryce Harper's grand slam.
You're like, no.
Same at bat that I turned the game off of because I thought it was over.
Yeah, I mean, one step there is not sticking out the at bat.
Now let me pose this question to you though.
Okay.
If we have someone else in the dugout besides this guy, Do you think they win this? They sweep the series?
If it's Girardi,
Yes.
no. No, and I don't, because this, so it's like, it's just like, again, baseball is just a weird animal where feeling good means so much. And listen, maybe these guys were ready to move on too. I mean, no one's going to come out and throw them under the bus.
You heard the stories about the player's wife, right? I think it was Nick Castellanos' wife, but it says it's an unnamed player's wife, but I think it's Nick Castellanos.
Mm-hmm.
I have no proof of that. It's just my hunch.
Mm-hmm.
But a story came out in The Athletic sometime within the last 2 weeks. I forget exactly when, but sometime within the last 2 weeks.
By the way, I love the Castellanos family. They look like a good family, a solid family.
Obviously, he's at work during the season, but I can see that man having a good time down in Seattle.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Like he's got the kids out there running around on the boardwalk with him.
Oh, yeah. Nick Castellanos will definitely be at a water park down the shore.
Like,
that's the point.
Wife's at the spa. He's keeping an eye on the kids, hanging out with the fans.
Yep.
He looks like a guy that would have a good time walking around Seattle with
a solid beach style tank top.
Yep. Give him a couple slices of pizza off the boardwalk. Give the kids ice cream cones, and he looks like he's having a good time.
He's good to go.
But,
it may be Ms. Castellanos.
Yes.
Say no.
A story came out in The Athletic that a player's wife asked her husband, "Why does it look like you and your teammates don't have fun? You used to have fun where we played before. You're not having fun anymore. Why does it look like you're not having fun?" To which he responded, basically, the manager.
Well, I mean, Joe Girardi never looked like he was having fun. So,
and, I mean,
that's part.
Now, let's make the assumption it is Mrs. Castellanos. I'm unaware what her name is. I didn't call her by her name, but let's assume that it is her.
Okay.
You can't have that. And I don't mean you can't have that like, oh, she shouldn't be saying that. Like, this is a major indictment on the manager. You can't have that if you were the Phillies ownership, GM, front office. That's what I meant.
Right.
You can't have that.
Right. No, you definitely
I didn't know if you'd call into that story or not.
And like it's a playing loose again in baseball is very important because it is. The season's so long. You got to do things to break up the monotony of the season, and you gotta. It can't be so routine. And Joe Girardi looks like a guy who's just a routine. We do it this way. This is how we do it every time. This like, and that's a lot of guys don't operate that way. And listen, doesn't necessarily. I don't think Joe Girardi is a bad manager. I just don't think he's a good manager for this team. I
think that he is a bad manager.
I think bad's a stretch. I think he'll get you by.
He's below average, and I'll tell you why he's below average. Because in the 2.5 years that he managed this team, he has an under 500 record. In fact, the only time when he was considered a good manager is when he had a roster littered with first ballot Hall of Fame.
That's what I mean, though. There's some that's what I'm talking about.
That's why I don't think he can just.
Not every manager can take a team that's not great and make them great. That's not every manager can't do that. Like, for instance, Tony La Russa, Jim Leland. You bring them in when you got a squad that's ready to win now. They're not going to be a team that propels you. Joe Madden's a little different, where Joe Madden can take a squad that's not that great, not that much to work with, and make them better. Certain managers don't do that. And Joe Girardi, I feel like a guy where it's like, okay, they're ready to win now. Get in there, Joe.
But you can't say that he'll get you by if he needs, all-time talent around him to get him there. You can't say he'll get you by if he needs all-time talent. Like, you're aware of everything about Derek Jeter, especially the things coming out. Derek Jeter, a lot of those years in New York, he was the franchise. He held everything together. Like, the stories of him in the clubhouse and all that. Like Jeter was basically the manager for those teams. Now, and I'm saying post Joe Torre. Obviously, Joe Torre he's your old school stereotype. What'd you say? La Russa, Jim Leland, Lou Piniella, et cetera, those kind of guys. That's who Joe Torre was. However, post Joe Torre, that was the Derek Jeter show. First, it was the Derek Jeter show, and for the everyday guys, and it was the Mariano Rivera / CC Sabathia show for the pitchers. Like it wasn't anything that guy was doing. So to say that he's just getting by is an insult to people who can just get you by. This dude is a below average manager, and that's just putting it politely.
Yeah, but that slant though, if you look at it that way, then guys, like I said, like guys like Tony La Russa is not a Hall of Famer. Jim Leland's not a Hall of Famer. They're not making. I don't like Jim Leland managed Barry Bonds in his prime, Doug Drabeck, Bobby Bonilla. Like I could have done that, but like guys like that, like
I mean, here's the thing: is like if you ask me, I don't think Jim Leland is a Hall of Famer. Like if you were to ask me, I don't think Tony La Russa is a little different. That guy's got multiple World Series rings, so like the conversation for him is different because he's got longevity and he's got chips. I don't think Jim Leland has any rings, unless I'm mistaken. I don't believe he has any rings.
No. No, they got beat. They kept getting beat by the Braves.
I mean, they've played. I know he's played, or he's managed in.
He went far, but they kept getting beat by the Braves. They never got to a World Series. Those Pittsburgh teams.
Well, yeah, but wasn't he on those the Detroit team for a while?
They never got to a World Series either.
No.
Actually, did he win? Wait, did he win in Florida? Was he the manager for that '97 Marlins team? I think he was the manager for that team.
Let me check. Oh, he was. You are. Yep. That's
so he did get one.
He did get one. He got one. He got one with one of the most stacked expansion teams of all time.
Right. Yeah.
What was that? That was the
great Dutch Dalton gets a ring on that team too.
Yeah. Was Josh Beckett on that team?
No, Beckett was a 2001's team. That was that wasn't Dontrell Willis. I don't think either.
Oh, D-Train.
That was like Jeff Conte. Jeff Conte was on that team, or Jeff Conine, is it?
I don't know.
Pull up that roster. You gotta pull up that roster now, because now I'm
2001.
No, 97.
Oh, you want the 97? Oh,
90. This is the 97 squad. Jeff Conine was on that team.
That's a name.
Yeah, Conine.
All right, let's see. We have
Aaron Dalton was on that team. I know that.
We have
Gary Sheffield, I think, was on that team.
Whoa, we have the guy. Oh man, the sixth finger. Alfonseca.
Alfonseca, yeah.
You remember the sixth finger, right?
Sheffield on that team?
Sheffield. Yes, he was.
Jeff Conine, was he on that team?
Pitcher, right?
No, Conine was a position player.
Jeff Cone was the pitcher. Conine, yes, he was on that team. Luis Castillo, Bobby Bonilla, Edgar Renteria,
Darren Dalton, Edgar Renteria.
No, Darren Dalton was not on this team.
What's that?
Dutch was not on this team.
Dutch got a ring with that squad, I thought.
Oh, it is. For some reason, he's not listed as
Yeah, he got a ring with that squad.
No, it is, but for some reason they have him out of position. He was a catcher, right? Yeah, obviously he was a catcher.
Yep.
Why do they have him listed as a second baseman then? For some reason on Baseball Almanac, he's listed as second baseman. That's
correct.
Craig Counsell was also on that team.
Craig Counsell holding the bat up here.
Oh, there's guys who have
it's in the world.
There's guys who have notable batting stances.
Yeah.
His is up there.
Craig Counsell's up there. Like he's gonna tear his rotator cuff for that bat up that high.
Let's see who we got. Kevin Brown.
Oh, Kevin Brown, the pitcher.
Yes.
Okay. Heck of a rotation piece.
What was that?
Heck of a rotation piece.
Yeah. This is an old team.
Yeah, there's a veteran young team, the expansion team, as far as the Marlon name.
Mm-hmm. And probably the Reederson's favorite player, Josh Booty.
Yeah, I mean, listen, like I hear your points about Joe Girardi. I'm not here to say Joe Girardi is a world beater. I just know he was not the guy for this squad. I know that. Like for some, I don't like the guy. I think they need a guy that's going to bring a little juice in the clubhouse. Maybe Rob Thomas is that guy. I don't know. Maybe he has that first manager enthusiasm, and it can get you through the rear. I don't know. We'll see. But I'm happy they are trying something new. When it's not working, you see it's not working, you try something new. So I'm happy that they decided that this is, for whatever reason, this is not a marriage that we need to continue with. It needs to be done. So hopefully, listen, they won 4 in a row. Hopefully they can keep that going and, get hot, have a good couple weeks, and get themselves back into the race again. Because listen, this team still 4 games under 500. They still should make the playoffs. They should make the playoffs.
Definitely should make the playoffs.
Like we talked about on Friday. I knew the deficiencies they had. I knew the pitching might not be that great. I knew the fielding was not great at all. But we got a hit, and now we're starting to hit again, and good things are happening. When you hit, good things can happen for you, and hopefully that will continue. We'll see. So last night, Game 2 of the NBA Finals. This series really has broken down into 2 quarters. Game 1 is the fourth quarter by the Celtics outscoring the Warriors 40-16, and then Game 2, the Warriors outscore the Celtics 35-14 in the third quarter.
Mm-hmm.
But for me, and this is where the maturity of the Celtics come to play. What I was worried about is that their maturity is that in the first half they had opportunities to get some room, and they just kept turning the ball over. Turning the ball over, some silly fouls, and Marcus Smart had a really poor game offensively. He killed him. He had about 4 live ball turnovers in the first half alone, and they had time. They had shots to not open it up, but be comfortable going into halftime, and they let him hang around to the point where Golden State was comfortable. And they came out in the third quarter, and the Celtics couldn't score, couldn't get a basket for a long period of time. Steph Curry hit some some ridiculous shots. Like, great players are going to do that, and he's a great player, so he's going to get his. What's interesting to me is you're not getting, and this could come back to haunt the Warriors, especially going back to TD Garden now. You're not getting great play from those other guys right now. Klay Thompson's not giving you a lot at all.
No, he did not have a good game.
He's not giving you a lot at all. And here's the thing. Here's what I see going forward could be the biggest issue for the Warriors. So here's how it looks. They're starting 5s. The Warriors have 3 guys offensively that can hurt you in their starting 5. It's Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, Andrew Wiggins. The other 2 guys, Draymond Green and Kevon Looney, are, while Draymond does a lot of things with the picks and the passing, they're not offensive threats to score the ball. So for the Celtics, and not a lot of teams can do this, as I was saying before going in, where this is something that didn't matter facing other teams because they didn't have 3 guys that can match up with these 3 guys. The Celtics have 5 guys that can match up with these 3 guys. So if you're going to tell me you're not getting great production from Klay and Andrew Wiggins, I just don't see how they can win this series. Because you're asking Steph to do a lot, and Jordan Poole is better coming off the bench. Definitely better. He definitely played much better. You get Gary Payton III back yesterday, which is big for them.
Let me ask you a question real quick, because I didn't catch the whole game, so I was going back and looking over the box score.
Mm-hmm.
While we were getting, while I was getting ready for the show and everything, was there? Did they do a white flag waving, bench clearing?
Fourth quarter.
They did?
Early fourth quarter. The Warriors go up almost 30. They were up 93.
Were they? All right, because
to shut it down.
When I was going through I saw that the Warriors played like 14 players.
Yeah.
And the Celtics, and I mean, you don't play that many.
Yeah, it was.
So I wasn't sure if there was some kind of like, hey, let's empty the benches or whatnot, or
the Celtics couldn't get it in the third quarter. Literally couldn't score.
Gotcha.
So they dug themselves a major hole. They're down 93-64 early fourth quarter. But anyway, that's how I look at it. Where if you're going to tell me, because you need those those other two guys to produce, and that's the thing that makes the Celtics special defensively. What it can do is they got 5 guys that can match up on these 3 guys, and they're going to have to figure out a way how to get Clay going, how to get Wiggins going consistently. Because I don't know, man. I still, if you're a Celtics,
Clay's the one that worries me, though.
Say again.
So Clay's the one that worries me because you need the trio,
yeah,
to be humming at full speed in order to beat Boston.
I think about like I'm trying to think about who, like Kevon Looney. He's a really good defender, but he is like offensively, he's going to give you. He has no purpose.
Why are there so many completely inept offensive players in the NBA?
Big guys, yeah. Well, the guys, like, yeah.
No. I'm talking like Thibault.
Yeah.
Simmons. Like, why are there so in the 3-ball era of the NBA?
Yeah.
Why are there so many players that can't play offense?
Ron Looney's like a dinosaur. Like he's still like he would have done much better in like the 90s as far as his style of play offensively, around the basket type of stuff. Listen. It usually isn't a problem because the Warriors don't usually have a team on the other side that can match up with them the way the Boston Celtics can. So what I'm talking about here is the exception to the rule. This wouldn't be a conversation in any other series. It wouldn't matter. It matters here. So I was racking my brain trying to think about who they could start, maybe give them some more offensive punch. They don't really have anybody, but they just don't. They just don't have anybody else. So it's something to keep an eye on going forward. If that matchup of that 3 against Celtics 5. So, but I'm excited to see what happens Wednesday night. Game 3, 1-1. Huge. I mean, huge swing game. Obviously.
I love how in the finals the NBA is like you're playing 1 game a week.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, basically. So yeah, I'm excited to see what happens.
We'll do a game 3 preview on Wednesday.
Yeah, Tatum's been much better. Tatum was much better yesterday.
6-9 from
he got his swagger back.
With that.
Yeah.
Al Horford came back down to earth.
A little bit. Well, you saw what Draymond did. Draymond right away. He said he was like, listen, I got to take responsibility, and we talk about it all the time with shooters, with guys who shoot the ball. You don't get them into a rhythm. That's what they did with Steph Curry game 1 for first quarter. They got him in a rhythm by giving him an open shot, and Draymond said, I gave Horford a walk up 3 in the first quarter, and it got him going, and you saw what happened. So he goes up on him right away and just goes right after him immediately.
Can I tell you? I made 1 bet on the game yesterday, and I won it.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, only made 1 bet.
What was it?
Al Horford under 1.5 threes made.
That was a good call.
He
had 6. He knew he was gonna get. Yeah.
The thing is, I can't. I was given that bet by someone to place. They were like, listen to the way Draymond's talking.
Yeah.
After the game. Listen to how they're talking about specifically in the media about how he played. They're like, they're going to have something for him.
Yeah.
Take him under 1.5.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay. 0 for 0, Marcus. My man didn't even get 3 points in the game, let alone make a 3-pointer.
No, he did not.
And I meant to say this on Friday, but I am so glad I have his sister blocked, especially after that game on Sunday. Or what was it? When was game 1? Thursday?
Game 1 was Thursday, yep.
Yeah, especially after game 1. I'm so glad I had his sister blocked.
Yeah, I can imagine. Yeah, so, I mean, we'll see how that shakes out, game 3. And, It's
We're
been
now down to a best of 5.
now down to a best of 5. Celtics down with the home court, so see if they can keep that, and see what happens. We're gonna take a break. On the other side, we are gonna talk a little OTA, Eagles OTAs.
Yep.
Little Jalen Hurts talk,
Mm-hmm.
and Deshaun Jackson had some interesting things to say about 5.
And he's not lying. He's not lying. Because I've talked to somebody that he didn't run with Deshaun Jackson, but would regularly see young Deshaun Jackson out and about during that period of time. So it was kind of like how, you didn't run with Pat Burrell, but he knew the Marcus Bradham face. He knew who you were.
Yeah.
Similar. This person was the same kind of thing with Deshaun Jackson when he was younger, and he vouched it all for what he said.
All right, so we'll dive into all of that on the other side. Bradham in the morning, Marcus Bradham, just we'll be right back. Relationships can be tough, and finding that special someone can be even tougher. So when it's time to make a decision on what to do with the ring, you don't want to have that be tough too, right? Hi, I'm Marcus Bradham. I talk to you guys, my friends at Vans Jewelers, located at 13 South York Road in the heart of Hatboro. Back in 2017, when I decided to get engaged, there was only one choice for me. Going into Vans Jewelers, I was quite nervous, but they put me at ease right away with their friendly staff and their easy selection. They have selections for any budget. Rings, watches, chains, earrings, you name it, they got it. They also offer free ultrasonic cleaning and stone checks on any ring. Vans Jewelers also provides cleanings while you wait every Tuesday through Friday. What else do you want? You can't beat it. Go see my friends at Vans Jewelers, located again at the heart of Hatboro, 13 South York Road. I'll do. Yeah, man. Welcome back, Bradham in the morning. Marcus Bradham, just an Emery.
Yo. Got very few events and birthdays today, so we're just gonna get through 2 quick birthdays. Someone that Marcus knows a lot about that I know nothing about. Her birthday's today. She turns 62. You want to take a stab at someone pandemic famous that you know a lot about that I know nothing about?
62.
She turned 62.
Pandemic famous?
Pandemic famous.
I have no idea.
Carol Baskin.
Oh, oh yeah, Carol Baskin, Team Carol.
Yep. Haven't seen a second of Tiger King. I know nothing about her.
Fascinating, riveting television.
But I know that you are
Yeah.
well informed about her.
Enjoy the King.
And then today's also Two Gloves' birthday. Kenny Two Gloves Pickett.
Oh, okay.
So this is not good. He was already one of the oldest prospects, and he already turned another year older before the start of the season.
Yeah, not ideal.
Devin looked at me like I was psycho when I told her that Kenny Pickett was too old to be drafted. Like when I said to her, I said, listen, because she was like, this is right when I found out she went to Pitt. I didn't know she went to Pitt before this. She says, some Pittsburgh, and I was like, Devin, Kenny Pickett's too old to be drafted. She's like, what do you mean too old? I'm like, he's 24. He's going to be 25. I need someone like to put it into perspective, he's 2 years older than Jalen Hurts, who's going into his third season.
Right.
He's too old.
Speaking of Jalen Hurts,
and like that's like it's crazy that I'm saying someone who's 25 is too old. Like that's crazy, but
yeah, I know what you mean though. OTAs last week get underway. Good reports coming out about Jalen Hurts. I mean, I'm gonna tell the people.
Yeah,
coming out.
Yes, but you gotta temper expectations, Marcus. Everyone looks good in shorts and t-shirts.
Correct, but I want to pose this because this will lead into the McNabb stuff.
Yes.
Is there any? I don't know. I don't want to sound dramatic, but here we go. I don't know that I've ever.
You need the soap opera music for this?
I don't know if I've ever seen national, local, everyone all rooting for someone as much as everyone nationally and locally, from a media standpoint, is rooting for Jalen Hurts. Like, the love affair for him is something I don't know that I have personally seen. I can't think of an example of everyone wanting this kid to succeed. Like, you're not, like, I feel like people are going out of their way to speak positively about him. Like it's articles, you can find positive Hurts articles all over the place now. So this has been this way. This campaign has been going on for a good 6 months now of just positive Jalen news everywhere. You're not like we're talking, football programs and NFL Network, ESPN, all the talking heads, all the articles, everything coming out is glowing when it comes to him. Like, and it I don't think, listen, I'm not sitting here saying it's a bad thing, because I think it just goes to show you how much people genuinely like Jalen Hurts and respect his work ethic and want him to do well. I don't have a problem with that. I'm gonna have a problem if we get to the season and if it goes south, we're getting this stuff still. But right now, if you want to be optimistic about Jalen Hurts, go ahead. Have at it. I'm not mad at that. I want to be like, listen, I think we were fair last season, but we're critical. Now, I don't want to do that right now. There's no reason to be right now. You all know, if you listen to the show and you're a fan of the show, you know how Justin and I both feel about Jalen Hurts. Right now, there is no reason for me personally to attack. Why? Okay, he's throwing the ball well at OTAs. Devontae Smith has beaten Darius Slay. Over the shoulder throw. 70 yards. Great. I'm in. He's throwing the ball over the place. No interceptions. Great. Okay.
Let's see.
That's great news. I can't be upset about that. I'm happy. Good. Let's keep that same energy when the pads come on. That's all. And if
I don't want to, just like you said, I'm not going to sit here and bash Jalen Hurts why they're in shorts and t-shirts right now. But when the pads go on and it starts going downhill, let me rephrase it. If it starts going downhill, because I don't want to put negative vibes out into the universe.
Yeah.
If it starts going downhill, I'm going to come on here, as will you, and we're going to tell you exactly what we said and all of that. And you better, and I don't mean you, Marcus, obviously. I mean you, the listeners out there, you, the public. You better be ready for it. Because if you're going to be this loud when it's pro Jalen Hurts and it's easy for you, just be ready for when it has to go to anti Jalen. And I don't want to hear anything because he has no excuses now. What's his excuse? What is his excuse? His excuse is that he would not be good enough.
Yeah, and then you get even we always get the bad rap, the Philly fans so hard, difficult, blah blah blah. Even I think the Eagles fan base for the most part are Jalen up.
Here's
I don't think I'm not seeing anywhere, even from the fan base, about Jalen oh man, I can't believe they're bringing him back. Why would they bring him back? No, this is positive Jalen town.
I don't think there's a single person that's saying, and if there is an extreme, I'm not even saying this, and I'm not a Jalen Hurts guy right now.
Yeah.
And I said all during last year that no matter what, he was going to be back this season.
Yes.
With the exception of maybe a Deshaun Watson trade.
Yes. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
He was going to be back no matter what.
Yeah.
I don't even have a problem with him being back. But what it is that just because he's back doesn't mean he's going to be here next year.
Right.
And it's the people that are so there are some people that are so pro Jalen over the top.
Mm-hmm.
That's what makes me hate him. I shouldn't say hate because I don't hate him, but that's what drives
me to not be realistic.
Yeah. I listen to the radio, and there's people, specifically one guy, I'm not going to say his name because I don't want to give him credence. He's a nobody. But there's one guy that calls in and that he literally said that Jalen Hurts feels like his son. And he talks about, what are we doing here?
That's wild.
I mean, and then the same caller will throw out bogus, he makes up stats. So, I don't hold any credence. At this point in time, I wouldn't be surprised if it turned out to be the same guy that told me the Heat were playing the other day.
Right.
So, but to just go back to what you said, I don't think there's a single person, and like I said, if there is, there's very small minority that aren't happy to have him back. But I think that the people that would normally feel that way, there's no reason to give him any pushback. Whatever, he's back. What was the alternative?
Right.
That's Gardner Minshew. Come on now. Let's just be honest about it. We don't want that.
Right.
But I think it's a lot of the fans are reserving judgment.
Yeah.
Yes, we're happy he's back, but that doesn't mean that I'm going to go all in. I'm not going out and buying a Jalen Hurts jersey right now.
Right.
There's no way I'm invested in that.
Not a good investment right now.
No.
We gotta see. But listen, you want to be optimistic about it? Knock yourself out.
I'm optimistic about the team. I'm not optimistic about the quarterback.
I brought that up because
I was busy tagging you on a lot of stuff this weekend. It's
interesting what is happening because we had actually, it's ironic, we had a McNabb conversation on Friday. We brought up McNabb. We recognize him as the greatest quarterback in Eagles franchise history. You asked me about
you put him over Randall.
Yeah,
I would. I'm not saying. I would personally
accomplish more.
But there's people from that era that will put.
Listen, Randall Cunningham 1990 was different. The year that he should have probably won the MVP, where he throws for over 3,000 yards. I think it was 30 touchdowns, 13 picks, something like that, and he ran for 942 yards.
What was this?
Like
1990?
I think it was 90. He ran for like 942. I think it was 942 exactly, actually. That year he was different. I don't know McNabb. Like, I guess you could put that year up against McNabb's 2004. And they'd be similar, but McNabb gets accomplished more. Now, yeah, you can make the argument that, well, no, you can't make the argument. I mean, well, the NFC East was much better when Randall played. They were much better. That was when actually in Randall's prime, you had the Giants, the Redskins, and the Cowboys all win championships in Randall's prime. The Redskins, the Giants win first, then the Redskins win, then the Cowboys win. The division was way better when Randall was here. It was the NFC Beast. I mean, that was probably the last time the division was really, really good. Because you had the Redskins were really good, you had the Cowboys really good, the Giants really good, and the Eagles were good. So Randall, the competition probably was better.
Right, hold on, I gotta stop you for a minute. Okay, give me Randall's stats for that year again.
90.
Yeah. Give me his
I think it was 30 touchdowns.
Okay.
13 picks.
Okay. Rushing yards.
942.
And how many passing yards did he have?
It was like 3,200 or something, somewhere in there.
No. I had to ask because 3 of those 4, you were directly spot on with the exact number.
Okay.
That's what I wanted to say. I wanted to see if you could go.
I'm a Randall Stan.
He threw for 3,466 yards.
Okay. That was the ultimate weapon, Randall. That was a year.
There was one knock against him that year. Lot of sacks.
Yeah. Yeah.
He took a lot of sacks that year.
Yeah. Combination offensive line not be that great, and also,
I mean, that's the style of play is going to.
Yeah. Right. Alfred's going to lead to that. Holding on the ball a little bit too long and all that. But like
Brett Favre leading the league in interceptions.
That was the 1990. I think that was the year they ended up losing the Redskins in the playoffs. I think that was that year. Anyway, the division, it was just a way better division that he had to contend with, that Donovan did not have to contend with. But I still give the edge to Donovan because he's just accomplished more. He accomplished more. So you got to give him the edge.
Actually, during Donovan's tenure, a division opponent won a Super Bowl. Giants in 07.
Giants in 01 or whatever.
07.
Well, that's right. They lost the Ravens back in when they beat the Eagles. They lost the Ravens back then.
It's the first time they beat Brady.
Yeah. But I mean, that Giants team, they got hot late. They weren't nearly as good as those teams from the early 90s and all the things that Randall was saying and dealing with. Those teams were animals. So yeah, now this is what I always say. Like, people oftentimes confuse their favorites and greatest. Randall's my favorite Eagles quarterback of all time. Like, I go Randall all day, every day, my favorite. But Donovan's the greatest.
Mine's Michael Vick, my favorite.
Which is fair. That's not a bad one.
Like that team was so electric.
Yeah, the Vic Jackson and good segue because
Vic Jackson, Macklin, JD,
Selleck. Yep, skill players were wild.
Anybody in Madden with that team.
Yep. So Sean Jackson on the podcast this past weekend.
What was that?
Sean Jackson on the podcast this past weekend.
Oh yeah, it was the I Am Athlete with Brandon Marshall and I think what's his name? Crowder? I forget his first name.
I forget too. And then you have LaShawn McCoy's on there now too.
Is he regular or is he just on a couple?
I think he's a regular on there now. He's been on there a couple times. I guess he came in for someone. It used to be Chad Johnson. I think he's doing it with him.
Yeah.
But so I guess LaShawn McCoy replaced him. I don't know. I guess. So McNabb comes up. Do you actually have the clip?
I can pull it up. Yeah, real quick. Let me just get it.
So set the scene if you haven't heard this. Donovan McNabb comes up. Deshaun Jackson asks about him. And they only played together for 1 year. It was the 2009 season. Because if you remember, that was the year Vic comes home from prison and the Eagles sign him. He wasn't ready to be a starter yet. They used him in those, Wildcats and things of that nature. So he was a backup quarterback at the time. And Donovan, this was his last year. Donovan was starter, but this is last year. This was when they knew it was time. He ends up getting traded on Easter to the Washington Redskins. Listen, Andy. The one thing about the Andy Reid era, Andy knew for the most part when guys were done. He knew it was time for Donovan to be done. He knew after that playoff game against the Cowboys, it was time to be done with Donovan.
Wait, hold on. You said they only played together 1 year?
I'm sorry, 2 years.
Because they played in the
right.
In the Arizona game.
Yes, you're right. You're right. That was Sean's rookie year. Yep, that's my bad. They played together 2 years. It was the Arizona game, and then the following year they lost to the Cowboys in the wild card round. We played them back-to-back weeks, and they lost them in the wild card round.
Oh, I got the audio here for you.
All right, so this is Deshaun Jackson on Donovan McNabb.
I got a special story. Like Donovan, we cool, no beef, none of that. I'm not trying to clickbait on him and T.O. guy, but I remember.
But can you relate to T.O.?
Yeah, he can.
I appreciate them pre-editing this for us.
I don't speak for no other man with another man's situation. Whatever they issues is their issues. My problem was, so Michael Vick was there. This the year when Michael Vick came in and he was about to replace him.
Doing Wildcat stuff. He's only doing Wildcat stuff.
But the year after that is when they shipped. They trade him to Washington.
Yep.
So that year, that's when I made it for Pro Bowl. The first player in NFL history to make Pro Bowl.
Watch
for
this
two
story.
positions.
Watch this.
2 positions. First player in NFL history to make Pro Bowl.
Okay, Jack.
You get what I'm saying? So when the ballots came out,
he just threw that in there.
Hey, teammates, listen to this story though.
When the ballots came out and they found out that I was the first player in NFL history to get elected to start in the Pro Bowl for 2 positions, my starting quarterback tells Michael Vick, like damn, I don't think he should have. I don't think he should have got that. He shouldn't have deserved that. Like you telling another quarterback that your receiver,
you
throw to your receiver that you throw to that he didn't deserve that.
Yeah,
right. Yeah, that was crazy, bro.
Did you ever?
I ain't never said nothing to him about it.
And he made you buy the tickets for the party.
For what? Huh?
He made you buy the tickets for his party.
Yeah, you
You
feel
need
me?
two? Yeah, that's gonna cost you $25.
All-white
all-white party.
Who had an all-white party?
Like that.
See, he was one of the most cheapest, richest motherfuckers you could know. Well, he
you
make
mean?
you pay for everything. I remember Hank Bass, another little story. Hank Basket, we had the
Hank
all-white party.
Basket.
You remember Hank Bass? We had the all-white party. I'm a
Hank
rookie.
Basket.
You know how you got the little haze? He's like, yeah, we at the party. We about to go. You about to buy some bottles. I like them. I'm not buying no bottles for you. I'm a young street in LA. I'm not buying it. You just go buy your own bottle.
Right.
I ain't no rookie hazing. I ain't had to do nothing. I ain't had no rookie dinners. I ain't had to do none of that.
I was confused by the Hank Basket story. Does Hank Basket want to buy bottles or Donovan did?
No. Hank Basket tried to get Deshaun to buy him bottles.
Okay, that's what I thought. We were talking about Donovan stuff. I was confused. First of all, I love the fact how excited LaShawn McCoy is for him to tell that story. Like how many times he say, "Listen to the story, y'all. Listen to the story."
So
excited for the story.
And LaShawn and Deshaun, those guys were legitimately friends on and off the field.
Oh yeah.
Like, which one of them left first? Was it Deshaun?
It was Deshaun.
Like it visibly bothered Shady that Jackson wasn't there anymore.
Yeah, Deshaun was after the 13th season, really his best season as a pro.
Because of the fake Elliott Shore Park story.
Yeah, the throwing up gang signs and
it was Elliott Shore Parks that wrote that story.
Yeah. So that was when he gets out, and then McCoy one more year with Macklin, where Macklin has his best season as a pro, and then he's gone. So we just talked about glowingly how everyone is rooting for Jalen Hurts, and how it's just a national campaign to root for Jalen Hurts. It's just to me like, and first of all, this story is so raw, I can't help but believe it's true.
I mean, there's more than one. I mean, obviously Shady's heard the story before,
right?
So,
and the thing is too, so this story comes from Mike Vick. Let's put him into it too.
Yeah, it's Michael Vick telling
And
because
Mike Vick was those guys too.
and
Those guys
Vic and Deshaun were super close too.
right.
Like, they still talk. Like, if you ask Vic, like, who his favorite receiver was to this day that he ever played with, he will still tell you Deshaun Jackson. He's
Yeah.
like, I could not overthrow him. And if
Yeah.
you ask Deshaun, who was your favorite quarterback to throw to, he's like, I grew up playing Michael Vick on the video games.
Right.
He's like, now he was throwing me touchdowns.
Yeah. Vic coming into that locker room, you know, it was, you know, listen, he's coming off of everything that happened. We all know, well documented.
I vividly remember where I was when I got that news.
Yeah. So, like, he's coming in the locker room, and, like, he, to those guys, was still Mike Vick, the superhero. And, like, you know, that was their guy. And McNabb at that point is the dad in the room also. Like, McNabb has never been cool. Like, he's never been the cool guy in the room.
No.
And I feel like he's always kind of wanted to be that cool guy in the room, but he's
teammates
never
don't like
been the cool guy in the room. But it's stuff like this that gets him in trouble. This is why he is a polarizing figure in this town, because of stories like this. Things he does like this. All those press conferences where he came across condescending, you know, we came across kind of flippant. All of that stuff, a little aloof. All that stuff is the reason why we know. Well, I'm not going to say that. I think reasonable, rational people know how great McNabb was in his prime. However, you don't want to give him the credit for that because you don't like the person. And that's the disconnect here is, listen, we love Deshaun Jackson in this town. You know, we love Shady McCoy in this town where they did on the field. We love Vic. We love those guys. McNabb was not, and I don't feel ever will be, loved, which is a crazy thing to say about the greatest quarterback in franchise history.
But he did it to himself.
I would agree. No question. This isn't a pity party by any means.
Yeah, no, he did
This is
this to
just
himself.
facts. This is just what it is. And, like, you know, it's just so funny we talked about, because we tried on Friday to give him his flowers. We tried to. I was giving him his flowers. I was giving out bouquets to the guy. Because I think he does, in that era, he deserves that with his play. Then you send me that Saturday, I think it was Saturday. And I'm like, you got to be kidding me. Just spent 25 minutes talking about how great he was, how we didn't appreciate him. And now this comes out.
Yeah, I mean, he doesn't have great career stats.
No, he's his.
I mean, the best thing going for him, like, I have his career stats up right now. I'm looking through them.
Mm-hmm.
The best thing that he has going for him is that in a era where the Pro Bowl still mattered, he was a 6-time Pro Bowler.
Yeah.
That's his, like, he has 234 touchdowns. So put that into perspective. So I'm just pulling up. So put it into perspective. He has, what did I say? He has, let me go back to that. 234. Now, I understand that this guy is mentioned with the GOATs already, but Mahomes has 151.
I mean, yeah. I mean, I feel like, yeah, I don't know. I mean, well, I don't want to defend McNabb and his throwing ability. So,
well, the thing is like, if everybody's like, I don't think he's a Hall of Famer. Okay, I do not think, but there's people that will be like, no, McNabb deserves to be. No, why? Tell me what he did that was so Hall of Fame worthy.
People will compare his numbers to a guy like Troy Aikman.
Yeah, Troy Aikman.
They have similar numbers, but Troy Aikman also has 3 rings.
Yeah,
and Troy Aikman was big time in some big time games.
And I will give people this argument all the way. You give me if someone gives you the McNabb argument and they use his stats to back it up, You flip it on them with Matt Ryan.
Yeah.
Matt Ryan is the guy that you flip it with because Matt Ryan, let's see, he has, wow, there's a lot of Matt Ryans that exist in the world, apparently, in the world of sports. Okay, there we go. Matt Ryan, he has nearly double the amount of passing yards that McNabb has. Almost 150 more touchdowns with comparable interceptions and higher passer rating, higher completion percentage. Hasn't been to as many Pro Bowls, but has a league MVP. Has way more. Like, if you're going to give me the numbers on McNabb, then I'll give you Matt Ryan. Is Matt Ryan a Hall of Famer?
I mean,
I think that he's on the fringe. Matt Ryan is McNabb, but Matt Ryan is McNabb with a much better resume. They both got to the Super Bowl and choked.
Yeah.
It's just this dude is he can't get out of his own way. Like,
and listen, in all fairness, let's be fair. This is a story from 13 years ago. However, during this time,
are you surprised? Like, are you surprised at all?
That's the thing that sucks. No, I'm not. I wasn't. When I heard this, I didn't go, what? Not Donovan. This sounds. And why would you even say, like, first of all, why are you saying this to Mike Vick? Number one.
Didn't you learn about what happened when you did this with your other receiver that was a star?
Right. Why are you saying this out loud?
Yeah.
Like, even as a thought you had in your head.
Why are you putting that?
Why are you putting it out into the atmosphere?
Yeah.
It's just a very weird thing to say for a guy, your teammate, that accomplished. And listen, if you would have let it be, of course, Deshaun's going to give you credit for some of that. Like, you're the guy throwing the ball to him. So, you take some credit for that. And Deshaun probably would have given you that credit. But he hears that, and, well, of course I'm not. No. It's interesting stuff. I don't know. Like, it's always, it's just a thing. At some point, we're going to get some sort of tell-all about those teams. And now guys are starting to talk. So Deshaun says that now. I'm sure LaShawn has his stories. Mike Vick's working for Fox, so I don't know if he wants to get too much involved in this. But these guys all have their stories. And I'm sure we're going to hear. You know what's weird? I'm going to tell you what's weird right now. Besides Brian Westbrook, I'll take him out of this because I think him and McNabb actually have a pretty good relationship. Besides Brian Westbrook, I feel like the defensive guys like McNabb way more than the offensive guys. That's really weird.
John Ritchie often talks on WIP about his affection for McNabb.
Okay. He wasn't here very long, so I don't really put him in that. But you look at, like, McNabb's best relationships for guys like Ike Reese.
Oh, yeah.
Brian Dawkins, Hugh Douglas. That's weird.
Yeah, I would like to. I'm curious to see how, like, a John Runyon or a Trey Thomas feel about him.
Like, for instance, I was watching, Man in the Arena, and Brady he was like best friends with. Oh man, now I can't think of his name. It's gonna drive me crazy.
What position? Who?
Safe Lawyer Malloy.
Lawyer Malloy.
They were like really, really close.
Was Lawyer Malloy on that team?
Yeah.
You talking about Rodney Harrison?
No, Lawyer Malloy. So Lawyer Malloy played with Brady first, and they release him.
Oh, that's when he went to Buffalo.
He goes to Buffalo to bring in. They brought in Rodney Harrison to replace him.
From San Diego.
That was a point of contention for Brady because Brady was really close to Lawyer Malloy, and Lawyer Malloy was very popular on the team. So they had a great relationship. It's not weird for that stuff like that to happen. But Brady also had great relationships with offensive guys too. Like he had those relationships with offensive guys too. McNabb, it just seems, struggled with his offensive guys. The perception I'm getting, at least. And his boys were on the defensive side of the ball, which is, to me, it's weird.
It is weird.
Hollis Thomas, another one that was good with McNabb. They were good.
Hank.
It's a weird dynamic. I'm not saying, like, listen, his
Part of it,
or Thomas hates him, but I'm just saying McNabb gravitated more to those guys.
Part of that could be is that, let's be honest with you, the majority of his tenure, his offensive personnel sucked.
True.
And he was probably like, why am I going to bother getting to know these guys? Like, now I'm not saying that's the right approach to have.
Yeah, it's weird to me.
But McNabb's a weirdo.
Yeah, it's just weird to me. It's just a weird, so they just did the golf tournament where they all got together a couple weeks ago.
I think it was Thursday.
Say again?
Are you talking about the match with Rogers and
No,
Brady?
no. I'm talking about it was a local thing.
Oh, yeah. Okay, yeah.
And McNabb's yucking it up with Hollis Thomas and Hugh Douglas. They're yuck fest.
Oh, well.
Okay, yuck.
You know who else was in the room I saw in a picture in that? D Gunn.
Was he?
D Gunn is in a picture with like Ike Reese, Hollis, Dog,
Yeah.
Westbrook,
Yeah.
Runyon,
Power.
all of them. And you know that he heard all the stories.
Right. I know like McNabb and Westbrook have a really good relationship because that was a point of contention for TO where McNabb went to bat with management for Westbrook to get a new contract and didn't do it for TO.
Well, and that Westbrook contract, I think I've told you about that before.
Mm-hmm.
That was like, up to that point in time, that was like one of the wildest contracts in the history of the NFL.
Yeah.
Because it was, I think they said most NFL contracts to that point in time was about 5 to 7 pages. Westbrook's was 33 pages long.
Short book. A lot.
No wonder it took him so long to hold out and get it sorted out.
Seriously. Yeah, I mean, it's just it's always going to be, when we look back at that era and we look back at McNabb, it's always going to be interesting conversation. It always is, because there's just so much that happened with him. And look, like I said, there's going to be a book. This is a book written all over it. At some point, a book, some along those lines about those years and what was going on. Because we've heard, obviously the TO story about the fight and stuff like that, but we really haven't heard the whole story. But we can get. There's definitely more details to come out on that. TO naked trying to fight somebody in the hot tub.
Yeah.
Which is a very wild, extremely wild move.
Could you imagine if that happened while we were doing this show?
Yeah, it'd be a lot. If Tio was in his driveway doing sit-ups while we were on the show.
Yeah, like I would say, Marcus, we're going to Tio's house.
We have to go to Morristown. We're doing the show in Morristown. Yeah, that was just an odd time. But anyway, I don't know. It's just interesting. That's why I brought up Jalen Hurts earlier, because it's just polar opposites about how people feel about these people. Now, listen, if Jalen Hurts has a great year this year and sticks around, he'll probably go through his things too. That's just how this stuff goes.
Yeah. Well, it's like I forget. I think it's Harvey Dent says it in Batman.
Yeah, I know where you're going with this.
Yep. You live long enough, or you
die a hero,
or you
live long enough to see yourself become a villain.
Yep.
That's true stories. True story. Anything else?
Nah, man. Just hanging out.
Yeah.
Like I had a very low key weekend. Like I didn't do very much. I hung out in the sun and just chilled out.
Yeah, I played a lot of football with Dave this weekend.
Went to Peddler's Village.
Nice.
Peddler's
was a great spot around here.
What's that?
Peddler Village is a great spot around here.
Yeah, I haven't been there that many times, but I
Just walk around and hold hands. People love walking around Peddler Village holding hands.
did not. I'm sure I witnessed it. It just
Yeah, it's
didn't register.
time couples family spot.
Yes.
Like you don't go to Peddler's Village to be outside. You go there to be there with family.
Well, yeah, we went up to the park at Kids Castle.
Oh, love that. I used to I don't know what they're doing up there now, but that's why that Central Park. That's why I used to play basketball all the time.
They don't have basketball courts there anymore.
No, it's well. I think they're renovating the municipal building, so they're operating out of the basketball court now. It's weird.
Oh, okay, because we went up there. She had never been there. What's it?
Yeah.
I don't even know what the name of the
It's called
park
Kids
is.
Castle, but up that way, it's called the whole thing's called Central Park.
Central Park. Okay, yeah.
But up
Obviously, I was not being a weirdo going around Kids Castle. I was at the
right,
park, but I didn't know the name of what actually what it was.
yeah.
So so we were up that way, and we were hungry. So she was like, "Let's go to Peddler's Village and go there." So that's where we ended up at.
Nice.
But like it was like what 80s every day this weekend. It was
nice.
solid.
It was nice, and at nighttime we did a lot of nighttime sitting outside. Amber put up the lights on the fence, so we were sitting outside a lot at night, just like hanging out. It was nice.
I was thinking about launching the fire pit the other night.
Oh,
It was nice and cool. I thought about, but then I was like, then I gotta wait for this mofo to fizzle out, and like then I gotta make sure I don't inadvertently burn. I tell you what I did the first time I fired up the fire pit.
I don't believe so.
Oh, I lit the grass on fire. I mean, I now have precautions in place, and I've used it since then. That will not happen again.
Won't happen again.
But like, these are the kind of things you have to be worried about when you're.
Hey, you know what they say? Trial, ampersand, error. Happens.
Yeah, like it happened, and so I thought about it, but I just and today's gonna be nice, so
Beautiful. Yeah.
probably gonna. So I'm gonna do what I do on other nice days. I'm gonna sit inside and watch TV.
Right. I did a lot of football with Dave. He's really getting into football. I had him out running routes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we're doing some routes.
Fade patterns.
Some fades. Some the old school button hook.
Yeah. I wouldn't send him across the middle just yet though.
Yeah, we'll teach him how to sit down in his zone already.
Yeah, you just gotta
down in the route.
You just gotta tell him to watch out for them linebackers that are hunting.
He will. My plans with him. He's going to be doing flag football to at least high school.
Would you hear flag football might make its way into the Olympics?
Yeah, well, flag football. I will say this: if you would have said 5 to 10 years ago, I would have laughed flag football off. Like my kids aren't. No. But honestly, it's a great idea. It's a good introductory way to get your kid involved in football. And if you watch flag football, it is way more physical than people think.
Oh,
you get after it in flag football, and like I think too. I want to if he really wants to play football and he's serious about it, we'll see. But that's what he thinks he wants to do right now. We'll see, and I'm going to save the tackling and save his body a little bit if I can. So then, in like high school, you want to try to tackle football, be my guest.
I am, because of how physical flag football is the exact reason why I quit playing in the men's league. Not because I couldn't take it, but like if somebody's going to try to attempt to lay me out, I'm going to attempt to make you miss work on Monday. You know what I mean? Like, and I was like,
flag football, and it's fun. Like I watched. I was watching it. I think it was Pro Bowl weekend. They did like kids. They were showing them play.
Oh yeah.
I watched. I was like, this is actually pretty cool. Like this is pretty cool. This is cool stuff. Like I grew up. I'm in a different era. We grew up playing tackle
football
or
every day of the week.
Or we played one hand touch, whatever.
Rough touch,
that type of stuff. So like I'm not from the flag era, but I watched it and I was like, okay, this is pretty cool. Like this is not as dorky as I thought it was.
From the time that I was about 13 to probably the time that I was about 17, 18, I played tackle football
Yeah.
probably anywhere from 3 to 5 times a month at minimum, and that doesn't include like organizing. That's just going out and playing.
I'm just playing. You know, I think the disdain for me, for at least for me, flag football comes from gym class. Like we hate the idea because we're used to again playing one hand touch, rough touch, tackle, whatever. And your gym team's like, all right, guys, put your flags on. You're like, oh, come on, Mr. McNeely. Why do we have to put these flags on? You have to. It's like putting on a dress.
Yeah.
Like put it, like tighten it up, and it's falling down. That was the whole thing. It was just a hassle, and it felt unnatural to have that around your waist. So like that was, and then you got to put someone rips the flag off. You got to put the flag back on. Like all of that stuff was the reasons why. But yeah, I got to admit, I'm a dinosaur. And I've come around. I think we're gonna sign them up this fall for flag football leagues.
Flag football story. So when I was at Penn State, I was playing in a flag football tournament, and my cousin and my roommate were both on the soccer team. So our team had a bunch of the soccer guys on the team, which is great to have those kind of athletes on a flag football team.
Oh, absolutely.
Obviously, the football players weren't allowed to play, but like the other sports, they were allowed to play.
Gotcha.
And we're playing against some team that had a fraternity. Like it was a fraternity, they had their own team. And I was playing right corner. I was out there, and they had basically a offensive tackle lining up at wide receiver because I was playing the corner spot. Well, my man's flag fell off. And you know the rule, the flag falls off, all you got to do is touch him.
Right.
So, Marcus, all game long, the second he would run off the line of scrimmage, I would press him, unhook his flag right away, making him ineligible.
I bet he loved you.
Oh, it almost turned into a full melee. About halfway through the second quarter, it almost turned into a huge melee.
I can see that being a melee.
It was a huge melee, and I can tell you this: I kept doing it. We lost the game, but I kept doing it. But the ultimate gym game, Marcus talked about playing flag football in gym. Jail dodgeball.
Yeah. Prison dodgeball?
Yep.
Prison dodgeball is the ultimate gym game. Yes. That was my favorite thing to do in gym class.
No doubt about it.
I like volleyball, not because of the play of volleyball. The ridiculous, silly things that happen when you get a bunch of kids together playing volleyball.
No, I couldn't. Our girls' volleyball team was really good.
Yeah.
And sometimes in gym class it didn't go well because we had a couple of the girls in my class that were on the team.
Yeah.
Volleyball didn't go. It's like Mike Ermintrout said. However you think this might go,
yeah,
it ain't going down this way.
We didn't play. We weren't taking it seriously. We were trying to hit the lights, trying to hit people.
Did you guys play? I think it's called mat ball.
Oh, listen.
Where you have to like loop the mats multiple times before you can score.
And you have to run around home place twice. So the last summer camp I was at,
it's basically indoor kickball.
What we did was we would play all the sports from June when we got there, like mid to late June, all the way through July. We'd run through all of the sports. The entire month of August, all we would do was play mat ball.
Mat ball is great.
Like that's all we did. We refused to play any other sports to the point where the director came in. She's like, "You guys are playing mat ball again?" And then the kids like, "Yeah, we love mat ball," because it's just. First of all, it's the chaos of mat ball.
Yes.
So yeah, you got to round. So you
can have multiple runners on. Like
you catch the ball, you can throw it anywhere in the gym, which causes mass hysteria, and people are just running and diving, and then you kick the ball backwards to the side. It's just anarchy. It's great. And if you're not a great athlete and you're not into sports, you can be successful and love playing mat ball.
Yeah.
The way we got the kids that weren't that great in the sports to get into playing a sport.
Yeah, well, I always brought the ringer with me because, like I said, my cousin was on the soccer team. He was the goalie. So, I'd always be like, "Oh, I'm bringing my cousin Mike to play too." Show up with the boot.
Yeah.
Just ripping it.
Like
you said, blowing the lights out of the gym ceiling.
Yeah. We did. Well, so we did mat ball series. We did a 7-game series. We picked teams. And we did a mat ball series. It got ugly in that gym.
Well, don't forget, we're still going to do the B&E field day.
Yeah, and honestly, we might have to do a mat ball series.
So
because I'll tell you, Del Val, you can use their. That's what we use the green gym. We can use the green gym. I know I got a lot of people out there willing to play. A lot of people ready to get involved in that ball. Big that ball talk.
Like we need to hold the B&E field day.
B&E field day next year is a thing.
I mean, I think that we should aim probably for maybe the spring.
Yeah, you don't want it to be too hot.
Yeah.
So like I don't want to do it past June. Like we want to do it in this pocket, the May June pocket.
I want to do it honestly before school lets out.
See, I'm worried about that because then you don't know the days you're gonna get. Like, see, right now we're in a good pocket where the weather is.
All right, we could go do it today. It'd be fantastic.
Right, the weather is turned. So this is the last week of school. Like this is this is kind of the weeks I want. I want to get kids involved too, like older kids. We get some kids involved too.
It's going to be. We got to figure out the logistics of it. Whether it's going to be you versus me, us versus somebody else.
Yeah, we may have to take on some other shows. We don't know.
Yeah, that's like
how this goes.
We're gonna see.
I got some animals I can recruit in here for this. Some absolute animals.
As do I, but I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that we should make a ruling on this right now. Am I banned from contacting and recruiting former professional athletes?
Yes, you can't have pro athletes out here.
So you're saying that
all amateurs.
Okay, so if we do a 3-on-3 basketball tournament, we're not allowed to call Big Perk.
You can call Big Perk. Okay. I'm not worried about Big Perk. you can call him.
If you saw him on the finals coverage, you're not really worried about him.
Big Perk, I'm okay with that. You can call him up. I think I can get my stuff off against Big Perk right now.
Say, with all due respect, I do not want him on my relay race team.
No.
Like, with all due respect, he's not going to be the anchor for the baton.
No. But yeah, this is a great idea by you. B&E Field Day is going to be
a lot of logistics. If sponsors out there, you want to be involved, leave me. There will be crowd at this event.
This will be serious. This will be
reach out to see if the John guys want to show up.
Oh yeah. They might be who we're going against. Who knows?
Man, Gale played college football. Man, I don't want to go against him.
I'm not worried. Not worried.
I do not want to go into a tug of war with Prime on the other side.
That's a good point. Like I said, I got some killers though. I'm a recruit. I'm bringing people out.
We'll get it done. We'll get
it done. But listen, I got nothing else. I'm gonna go enjoy this beautiful day.
I'm right there with you.
Tweeting everywhere.
At Justin Emery Show on social media.
Brad Murray Pod everywhere. BradMurray.com for the merch. Go check out our friends at Vantage Jewelers, of course, for that amazing jewelry. Get yourself a free cleaning and all of that. York Road, heart of Hatboro.
Mm-hmm.
And until next time. Oh, by the way, also don't forget, like and subscribe. YouTube, like and subscribe. The audience is growing.
Yeah.
So grow with us.
Yeah.
And until next time,
you don't want to miss the wave that's coming.
You can be with us, you can be against us, but never gonna stop us. Late.